So we're going to start off with a pair of tweets on the same general topic of publicity, starting with this one here. This might nerf my chances, but here's the deal. Anytime I make a tweet that's either satire or could be taken a number of ways, which is often, there's a glimmer of hope in my mind that someone will complain about it in a BuzzFeed article or a Medium piece. Don't stop believing. So, I actually had an interesting run-in with a journalist, a Forbes contributor by the name of Marina Medvin, who is also, according to her Twitter profile, an award-winning lawyer. And I fooled her with a satire tweet that she retweeted and insulted me with. She's conservative, and I said something, I believe I said something that might have been a little bit anti-conservative or not going along with those values. Of course, I'm independent, and some things I believe are on the right. I'm right-leaning in many ways and left-leaning in others, but Marina didn't take to it too well, so she had a bit of a trigger response to come after me and call me a louse, which is, of course, the singular form of lice. So I'm a louse, she said, and of course she deleted it. But not before I got the screenshots and all that, and I actually put up a tweet, a story in 4 parts with lore, so it'll be chronicled forever. But yeah, if you make a controversial tweet or a statement somewhere, and maybe it's meant to be satire or not taken too seriously, yeah, you might have somebody do a write-up on you. You might even make it into the paper of record, the New York Times. I call it the toilet paper of record, but you know what I'm talking about. And of course, the Washington Post, they might do a write-up and say that you're a provocateur, you're a right-wing extremist, you're a left-wing extremist. They might do something like that. But it's great because it's publicity. It's like, there's no such thing as bad publicity, right? You want to have good publicity, but you got to get your name out there. Half of Persuasion is getting people's attention. And if people are writing articles about your mundane satire tweets, well, I think you're probably doing a pretty good job. So, it's not bad. It's not bad. Maybe BuzzFeed will do an article on it, and you'll be in trending for something you said that wasn't meant to be taken seriously. Doesn't matter. It's free publicity for you. So, that leads into our next tweet. But I say here, of course, even though this tweet here might nerf my chances, I always think, don't stop believing. Going into another tweet about publicity. This is a named tweet. It's called Good, Bad, I'm the Guy with the Publicity. And it quotes a few movies here and does a couple of interesting things, but I'll get right into it. Give me your mind, your memes, and your media cycle. Love me, hate me, but never stop talking about me. Share me, smear me, shame me, endear me. Thank you in advance. I'm wrong? React! I'm right? React! Don't care? React! So, good, bad, I'm the guy with the publicity. Starting with, give me your mind, your memes, and your media cycle. Of course, referencing Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2 Judgment Day, the 1991 action film that colored a large portion of my youth, having grown up in the 90s. I love that movie. But let's go and break it down. Give me your mind, your memes, and your media cycle. So, what we're seeing, of course, these days, and we've seen for many decades, is the rapid cycling media. Some people say it's a 24-hour news cycle. Some people say it's 2 or 3 days, sometimes a week, sometimes 2 weeks. There are all these different lengths of cycles for different aspects of media. But basically, give me your mind. Give me your mind. Give me your mind. That's what they want. They want to have our minds for commercial purposes, to sell something, to get across a message, to get across an ideology, or perhaps something else. But they wouldn't do, they might be, of course, trying to do something that's altruistic as well. Give me your mind so that I can help you become a better person and buy more product. Buy more product. Your memes, of course. Memes are, memetics are one of the highest forms of communication in some ways because they're so powerful. They give you, it's like advertising an idea, advertising a joke, advertising having a symbol, having an image in front of your face with some words, with a message. And it's very, very simple, but very, very effective. You just need you can fit so many things into a single image that really, it will help people to be persuaded over. Or just make them laugh or think. It doesn't really matter what you're trying to do. Memes are a very powerful form of publicity and communication. And of course, the media cycle, like I just said. I have a tweet out, trending typo tricks and the nature of media cycles. Check that out on BitChute and YouTube. The next quote here is, "Love me, hate me, but never stop talking about me." So as I said earlier, there's no such thing necessarily as bad publicity. Sure, it might be negative tinge. You might not be happy with what people are saying. But as long as people are talking about you, that's how you keep the wheels turning in terms of your career, maybe in entertainment, wherever it might be. You want people to talk about you more and more. And of course, it's going to come down to some people liking you, some people hating you, some people indifferent, neutral, whatever it might be. But if there's a lot of talk about you, you're in the air, you're in the spirit of the moment, you're in the time. People will remember. Remember when we talked a lot about that gal over there, that guy? Remember that person? And some people will be like, yeah, I remember that kinda. Remember Tiger King? There's a lot of people out there that just, you can love them or hate them, but as long as you talk about them, they're winning. They're winning. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. Next one is, share me, smear me, shame me, endear me. Thank you in advance. So, of course, sharing the memes, sharing the tweets, sharing images, videos, even just including a person or a thing, an animal or a place, or anything you'd like in a tweet or a meme or a Reddit post, you're going to get, Facebook, share me, share me, share me, share this, share me. That's what I'm trying to say here. You want to be shared. Smear me. Like I said, you can have some bad publicity. Get smeared. Get smeared. You can really have some bad publicity and still come out ahead, because people, some people will naturally have an inclination to be contrarian, to take the opposite position of the general public, the people that are really enjoying what you are, what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're about. There will be people that are contrarian, that just happen to be into a counterculture, happen to have different tastes, happen to have whatever it is. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. You're the guy or the gal with the publicity. Shame me. Well, we have a lot of that out there. We came up with this thing called Karen, how to shame, when people shame somebody. They shame a customer service representative at a store and say, let me speak to your manager in front of everybody. Let me speak to your manager. Let me speak to your manager. I never just as an aside, there was a little talk about this earlier about Karen being racist. Now you can make that judgment for yourself. I personally just think Karen, and I feel bad for all the Karens out there that it's like the Chads. It's like, this is your moment to shine. This is your fad. This is your fad that you have to deal with. But I never saw Karen as racist or sexist. Maybe a little bit sexist, just because it's bitchy woman. You could draw the line to sexism there. But people were saying it's a white woman, and I'm like, I have lots of people in my life, men, women, trans, any sexuality, any identity, and if they're being annoying, irritating, if they're kind of nagging on something, I think Karen fits. Karen fits. And again, I feel bad for Karen with all of her shaming. But shame me, and put me out there. Maybe I'll create we'll create a community of people that love the person that's being shamed, because the publicity is there. People will come to your advocacy. They'll come to stand up for you. They will. Endear me. Thank you in advance. Endear me. So there's the good. There's the good. A lot of this has been negative about bad publicity, but maybe you're just endearing. Maybe you're just endearing. Maybe you're charismatic and persuasive, and people can go ahead and share you around. And of course, the next line here, I'm wrong, react. I'm right, react. Don't care, react. Because that's what they want. When people are looking for publicity to get the attention of the public, to get the audience they want, all you got to do is react. If they've compelled you to even say something good, bad, neutral, to interact with it in any way, shape, or form, right there, immediately, you're winning, because they reacted. They saw it and they reacted. So it doesn't matter if it's bad or good. It's a matter of compelling people to act, to be interested enough in what happened with you or your product or your team or whatever it might be that you're pushing or selling, that you want to get publicity for, get as many eyeballs on as possible. You want people to react. Doesn't matter if you're right or wrong, or if they just don't care. If they don't care and they're reacting, clearly they kind of care. So it's a win-win.